talk about COVID. During COVID, I remember, we had a lot of time to make an impact online, right? A lot of online content, a lot of online impact. And I remember, I have a lot of good ideas. I have a lot of inspiring things I'd like to share. I'm not a detail-oriented person. I'm very poor with execution and details. And I remember I had this idea. I said, I had a whole curriculum on self-esteem. I was like, I can give a course. I can give a self-esteem course online. I'm sure people appreciate it. I can need it. Then I'm like, okay, great. Now I just need like a registration page and an email and a flyer and a this. And then I'm like, forget about it. You know what I mean? Nobody will have self-esteem. Who cares? I can't make a flyer. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to take too long. So interestingly enough, there were two young ladies from Lakewood who I never met. And somehow we got connected. They asked me to speak for some online program or whatever, and then we connected. And anyway, they're in shidduchim. We all know how being in prolonged shidduchim is a very painful thing for people. Some people enjoy dating. I, for one, did not. But they were in shidduchim. And for many people, they feel like when they're in this sort of waiting period of like, well, okay, look, when I get married, I can move on with my life. But until now, I'm waiting. They feel like I'm a waiting period of like, I can't really do things or move on or because I'm just waiting. I've heard this from people before. These young ladies were like, they had already launched one program, which was amazing to see online, all the inspiration, the shiur and whatever. And then they said, we'll help you create it. And like within a week, this is all volunteer. They had like a flyer, a website, a registration, like the whole thing was all built, everything. And it was out there and being marketed. And hundreds and hundreds of people did this program. Hundreds of people did this course. And I'm like, I would not judge. I would be totally non-judgmental if they, in their stage of life, were like, I can't do, I don't have bandwidth, I don't have emotional energy, I don't have for this type of stuff. Like, shidduchim is hard enough as it is. I don't need to create some online program for people to be inspired. Like, when I get married, maybe like, when I have a family, whatever happens, then I could like do those types of things. And I would not judge whatsoever if somebody told me this is the space I'm in. It's great, that's the space you're in. Although they were sort of, perhaps you could say, camped in shidduchim for a prolonged period of time, they could have been sitting there wishing and waiting for it to finally end in order to do good things in their lives and in the world. But they didn't. This is where we are.